Hey guys, Mr. Shaw here. Today we're going to be learning about World War II. Before that though, we got the start of the new year. Thought I'd share my resolution with you. I decided I'm going to become fluent in Spanish. So that's good news for me, bad news for you. We're going to have to do this video in Spanish, I guess. Hola mis estudiantes, me llamo Señor Shaw y eso es un video por la Guerra Mundial II. Y mucho gusto, bienvenido, vamos. Alright, I'm just kidding you. Alright guys, let's get to it. World War II. So, how do we get here? First up, we talked about the League of Nations that was established at the end of World War I. What you need to know is that it was very weak. Again, they set it up to be a peacekeeping organization to stop future wars, but the United States didn't join, okay, which again was one of the more powerful countries at the time, and it caused a lot of issues with the League. The League couldn't really host an army. They really didn't have any power to make sure that nations like Germany and then of course, Austria-Hungary, the Austro-Hungarian Empire was broken up, but, countries like that were going to be aggressor nations, they really didn't have the power to stop them, from doing that. So that's the first thing, is a weak League of Nations. So there, again, I already kind of got into that. So again, your ineffectiveness of the League of Nations, they could not, they had no control over major conflicts. They had made no progress in disarmament. Again, yes, this word here, disarmament. Again, that means just like disarming. Okay, like literally taking away, the military of different nations. And they did not have a very effective military force either. So again, we have two powers that really started this whole, they are involved in this war. We have the Axis powers and the Allied powers. So what I wanted to do first is to start by going over the powers, and I kind of skipped over one major cause of World War II, but we'll get to that in a second when we talk a little bit about Germany. So let's start with Germany. All right, so this one, again, Germany in this case is really crippled by the Treaty of Versailles. I think there's one more. Nope. Okay. Sorry. My bad. Anyway, the Treaty of Versailles is going to place all the blame on, for World War I on Germany. And again, we talked about that, how that is kind of ridiculous. Again, Germany was a major factor behind, making the war worse, or making the war as bad as it was. But again, Germany was not to blame for starting the war and for a lot of the things that happened in the war. However, they were the most powerful, so I guess it does make sense a little bit to kind of try to cripple them so they can't do that again. Now, the problem is that this is going to cause Germany to become politically and economically unstable. That means that they're not going to have a solid government. They're not going to have a solid economy to be able to bounce back after World War I is over. There is also going to be a huge depression. Again, we talked about the Great Depression. Again, that was not just in the United States. That was all over the world. And so Europe is going to be hurt via trade. Political stability is going to decrease throughout Europe. Again, so governments are going to be are not going to be as stable as they might necessarily have been before because of the depression that was going on. After World War I, we created this new democracy in Germany, or this new democracy took over, and it was called the Weimar Republic. And what this was is basically it was kind of not, I don't want to say a puppet state because it's not the same thing, but democracy had never been in Germany. So the Weimar Republic was not really able to have as much power to really make as much change as people would have wanted, because they were facing all of the reparations, all of the the financial restrictions, the military restrictions that were placed on them in the Treaty of Versailles. So anyway, they were the new democracy again is not going to be able to address the problems or the suffering of the German people. So what does that lead to? Well, this guy. It's going to lead to the rise of Adolf Hitler. Now, this is just a little bit of background on Adolf Hitler. Again, he was born in Austria. Actually, he was unsuccessful as an artist. One of the famous theories behind why he hated Jews so much is because there was a Jewish artist at one of the schools that he was trying to attend who rejected him and said that he was not going to be able to be an artist. Again, we're not really sure if that was if that was the case or not, but again, that's one of the theories. He did fight in World War I, and he was an extreme nationalist. Remember the word nationalism? Again, that's just a form of patriotism. Again, an extreme form of patriotism. So he is going to be very, very pro-German, very pro, anything that is going to be benefiting Germany, and anything that is not going to benefit Germany. He is not going to, tolerate that at all. In 1921, again, so that's a couple years after the end of World War I, he is going to join the National Socialist German Workers' Party, which is also known as the Nazi Party. So that's, again, going to be very significant momentarily. So what he's going to do is going to, as he is gaining power in the Nazi Party, he is going to speak out against the Weimar government. Again, I keep saying like a V sound. Again, that's how you say this word here, the Weimar Republic. Go ahead and add that word there, draw an arrow after Weimar and add Republic. That was what the German democracy was called. Anyway, so he's going to speak out against that. He's going to speak out against the Treaty of Versailles. He's actually going to be imprisoned in 1923 for participating in an uprising against the Weimar Republic. And while he's in there, he's going to write a book called Mein Kampf. And Mein Kampf means my struggle. And so this is what he's going to kind of write down all of his quote unquote struggles, his beliefs, what he thinks is going to be best for the German people. And some of that stuff here is what it talks about here is like he talks about the Aryan race. He says that the Aryans are superior. And this is kind of like your blonde-haired, blue-eyed white people. That is what he is identifying as Aryan. Again, he's actually using this word in an incorrect fashion, but that's not really relevant for our purposes. Anyway, that's what he thinks. Again, just think blonde hair, blue eyes, white people as his Aryan race. He's going to blame the inferior races for Germany's problems. Again, some of those people that, basically anybody else that is not German is going to fall into his quote-unquote inferior races. And he's also going to, eventually he's going to take control of the government. The Nazis are going to win. They're going to help overthrow the Weimar Republic, and he is going to call his empire a Third Reich. Again, Reich just means empire, and if you think about it, there is he kind of saw his empire as like a continuation of the old Roman Empire, which you guys will learn about next year. But again, the first one was the Roman Empire. The second one was kind of in the late 1800s, early 1900s with Wilhelm II, and then his is going to be the third, and that's kind of how it all got started. One of the most important things to remember about Hitler is his anti-Semitism. This word here, if you're not going to remember, I want you to just write the word against Jews or against Jewish people. That's what anti-Semitism means. So anyway, what he's going to do is he's going to talk about how he's going to kind of really force people to believe, and the German people to believe, that Jewish people are going to, and among others, but Jews are his main focus, are the cause of all the problems in Germany. So what he's going to do is he's going to expel all Jewish people from government jobs, any teaching positions. They are forbidden to practice law and medicine. And what is interesting about that, and something that might be interesting to add here, is that these were all, Jews were all highly, or not all, I'll say, most of them were highly educated at this time. So what he's done now is he has taken some of the smartest people and the most highly educated people, and he has banished them from all of these very key positions in Germany. So again, they're not going to be in government, they're not going to be influencing government at all, they're not going to be teaching at all, they're not going to be influencing the nation's youth. They can't practice law or medicine. Again, it was just, he saw it as a way to kind of get rid of this inferior influence, but again, he's removing, some of the best talent in Germany, whenever Germany might have needed them the most. The Nuremberg laws of 1935 are going to take away any Jewish citizen of Germany is now no longer a citizen. They also banned marriages between Jews and non-Jews. So that, again, now if anyone in Germany could not marry a Jew at all, a Jew could only marry other Jews. Also, Jews were forced to wear the Star of David on their clothing. And this is going to lead to something called Kristallnacht. Kristallnacht is, I believe, well, it was one really bad night in which there were the German army literally destroyed a bunch of Jewish property. They killed over 100 Jews, and they arrested 30,000 Jews. And Kristallnacht actually means Night of the Broken Glass. And again, that broken glass is going to stand for all of the all of the shops and the Jewish shops and homes that they broke into and destroyed. And I forgot there was one more bullet here. It is very important to note that many Jews actually left for other countries, and that is really important because you have some people such as Albert Einstein is a great example of that. Again, he is, and again, like. The Jewish part is not necessarily as important, but he leaves Germany. Again, he flees to America, and again, he is going to help us develop the atomic bomb. Okay, that's very important to note there. Okay, next up we have Hitler's policies. So, guys, I cannot stress enough how important it is that Germany was in the worst depression that it had ever experienced because of the Treaty of Versailles. So after the treaty, Hitler's going to come along, and he's going to start saying things like, we need to punish the people that signed this treaty. We need to make sure that, that these people, these people don't, gain power again, because they are the ones that have brought this upon us. Basically, he's going to come to power promising economic recovery and territorial expansion. Okay, this one thing here, right, I will emphasize with economic recovery, guys, is that it sounds a lot like what FDR did. Like FDR won the presidency because he was talking about, all of these things about, the New Deal for the American population and fixing the depression and the government getting involved. Hitler was saying those same things because they were going through, the countries, Germany and the United States were going through similar things, at the same time. Hitler and FDR gained power in the same year in 1932, or right around there anyway. Also, he's going to build up the military, and he's going to renew national pride. And again, right here, this should be put a star by this third bullet, guys. Again, he's going to create many public works programs. Again, that is straight out of the New Deal. Okay, he's going to give people jobs, and he's going to try to ease the pain of the German people that was kind of forced upon them by the Treaty of Versailles and the Allied powers during World War I. All right, so I'm going to kind of transition here to Italy, and we're going to talk a little bit about Benito Mussolini. All right, so Italy is also going to face economic problems after World War I. They were not nearly as bad as Germany, though. Okay, that's all. I'll tell you that straight away. The important things to note here is Benito Mussolini is going to promise to help the lower classes. Okay, again, you hear these same kinds of things. Italy's going through a depression. Germany's going through a depression. United States is going through a depression, and all three gain leaders around this time that are promising to fix things, okay, and to do better for the people. What he's going to do is he's going to organize the fascist party. So the fascist party is going to be really important to note here is that the fascism is a lot like, it's actually the exact opposite of communism. Okay, what they're going to do is whoever takes over is going to take power by force, and they are going to talk. There's not really a whole lot of substance to their government. What they're going to do is they're going to keep power by force by controlling the military, and by talking about how great the country is. So again, a couple things here I'll note is that again, Benito Mussolini is going to refer to the greatness of the Roman Empire, which was in Italy. And then he hated democracy, hated communism. Again, he didn't want to have anything to do with that. So he's going to basically establish a dictatorship by talking about how great Italy is, by having this extreme nationalism, about wanting to, help Italy become a great nation again. And and like I said, he's going to glorify the military service. Again, that's all going to be, really, really important in Mussolini's Italy. So they are going to form the Rome-Berlin Axis in 1936. And again, that is going to be a military alliance between Germany and Italy. And that's really important. Again, with the word Axis, guys, again, that's going to be like, they literally mean that the world revolves around them. Again, Rome is the capital of Italy, Berlin the capital of Germany, and that's why they called it the Rome-Berlin Axis. Okay, so I'm usually gonna try to keep my videos around 15 minutes, but I wanted to go ahead. I only have a little bit more to go. I want to talk about Spain real quick, and then I want to talk about Japan, and then we're done. So this is going to lead us to the Spanish Civil War. Spain actually does not participate in World War II, but Francisco Franco is the name of a man who establishes a fascist regime in Spain. So again, he is like kind of the third and final fascist leader in Europe. And so Mussolini and Hitler, who have already established their, quote-unquote bromance, they are going to assist Franco in trying to take over Spain. And the Soviet Union, which we'll talk about in the next video, they are going to support these quote-unquote Republicans. All you need to know is that they are the opposition to the fascists. And this is, again, Soviet Union, guys, they are communist. Right? We talked about them at the end of World War I a little bit, and we're going to get a lot more into them now. But basically, Hitler, this is really important, and I want you to put a star by this last bullet here, is because when the Soviet Union supports the opposition to Franco, what that's going to show Hitler is that the Soviet Union is very dangerous, and he thinks anyway that he needs to start taking territory, starting to be aggressive in order to be able to go to war eventually with the Soviet Union and be able to drive them back. All right, so Japan is the last one. Real quick too, if you see these are the light colors here, I am including links. I'm going to include the link in Google Classroom to the PowerPoint. These are links to videos. So if you guys would like to check those out, again, you can just go. Again, I don't want to show them here because that would take up a lot of time. But if you'd like to, you can go and check out those videos on the PowerPoint on Google Classroom. All right. Anyway, so for years and years, centuries before, Japan has always had an emperor. Now, Japan in the 1930s, the emperor is going to kind of lose power. And they're going to establish a military dictatorship after World War I. So in the 20s and 30s anyway is when this is happening. Japan has realized that they were kind of behind at the beginning of the late 1800s. Then again, we've talked about the imperialism of Japan. Matthew Perry, again, they realized they couldn't compete with the United States' Navy. So ever since then, Japan has been rapidly modernizing. Okay, we talked about the Russo-Japanese War, again, that Teddy Roosevelt helped negotiate a peace between, and that, Japan has never really stopped, gaining powers ever since, Matthew Perry showed up on those shores. So they're not really, like I said, they're not going to stop. They want to build up their military. They want to become the most powerful country in all of Asia. And in order to do that, they're going to need more territory. They're going to need more resources for their population. Because Japan's a small island. They need a lot of other stuff from outside of the country in order to be successful. And what's really interesting about that, too, is that the value of natural resources is going to play such a huge role in World War II, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So this is going to lead to the Manchurian Crisis of 1931. Japan is going to invade Manchuria in 1931. They are going to start the Second Sino-Japanese War near this time as well. I think that's a little later in the 30s. And again, these are going to be two of the bloodiest battles, the bloodiest incidents that you're going to see in this area. So anyway, they take over Chinese Manchuria, which is very rich in coal and iron. And again, they are absolutely brutal during this time, guys. They are slaughtering innocent people. We're like children, babies. Again, anything that they are trying to demoralize the Chinese, people as well. And after this, they are going to kind of see how things are going in Europe. We already have the Rome-Berlin axis, so they decide that they're going to join up with Germany and Italy, and they're going to sign a military agreement with Italy and Germany, forming the Rome, Berlin, and Tokyo axis. So now, and again, another word for this is the Tripartite Pact. And so this is now these three countries are going to form the main Axis powers. I didn't tell you this guy's name again. This is Hideki Tojo. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about him a little bit later. But again, it's just more important to note that Japan also had a fascist leader. To finish here, again, I told you the Japanese invasion of China, which was in 1937. Again, we're talking about some of the bloodiest warfare that we have ever seen. And that's going to be really important. If you want to learn more about that, again, you can look up the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937. And I think that might be it for me. Yeah, I'm going to stop there. We'll pick up here next time, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.